Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back, everyone. We're in the middle of the 10th parak of Masechet Sanhedrin. Elohim and Sanhedrin is the ones who get strangulation, right? And we're in the middle of the topic of the Zaken Mamrei, the guy who could technically be on a Beit Din Hagadol, on a Sanhedrin Hagadol, and he argues with the Sanhedrin, and he continues in his stock, in his teachings and rulings, and either he does it himself or he rules to others what needs to get done, right? And he's arguing the against the Beit Din Hagadol. So he gets the mita of henik, of strangulations. Okay, so let's take a look on Peitet and Aleph, first Mishnah, so 89a1. This is where we're holding. And we do not kill him, not in the Beit Din in his own town. So usually a case of execution, it could be tried by 23 judges, right? And every town has its own 23 judges. But here the Mishnah said we don't kill him in his own hometown. And not even in the Beit Din Hagadol. The Sanhedrin Hagadol when it moved to Yavne. You can't do it there either. The Beit Din Hagadol Shebirushalayim. It has to be done in the Beit Din Hagadol Shebirushalayim. Now, how do you do this? You don't just bring him there and you kill him instantly. No. You wait until the next holiday, right? The Pesach, Sukkot, Shavuot. And we kill him on the holiday. Okay? We kill him on the holiday. It's fair to say it's not on the actual holiday, but the day after or whatever. Something like that. But everyone has to be there. Because it says, all the people should hear and fear, and they won't continue acting this way. So the Rabbi Akiva says you can't kill him in his own hometown. You got to take him to the to Yerushalayim, to the Sanhedrin Gadol in Yerushalayim, and there the execution is done on the holiday when everybody is there. Rabbi Yehuda Akiva's student argues with him, and he said, no. Why would we delay his execution? We already learned we don't delay people's execution. We don't want them to worry and have more pain via the worrying. You do it right away. And kill him right away. Right? And how do you fulfill this part of the pasuk that says, everyone will hear about it. You send letters to everyone telling them, this person was killed because he was hayav for this avera. And this way everybody will know, and you'll be mikayim the mitzvah of everybody would hear and be fearful. Okay, so this is mahloket now. Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yehuda. Who do we paskin like? So usually when it's Rabbi Akiva and others, the halacha would be like Rabbi Yehuda. Okay? Read you the klal about this, and then we'll look at the halacha as the Rambam brings this. The Mishnatenu, the Machloket Rabbi Akiva Yehuda, in Yomot Beit Din Hagadol, Yomot Miyad Shelo Pasuk Rabbi Akiva, Shehalach Rabbi Akiva Mechavero. When Rabbi Akiva is arguing with his chaveros, with his friends, with his colleagues, the halacha is like Rabbi Akiva. So what does the halacha? How does the Rambam bring down the lashon of the halacha, bringing the zaken mamet to Yerushalayim? Bo Edom she'asik harato. Edom come and say, "Oh, this guy did like Kipaskin, right? The zaken mamet going against the Nagadol. He did the way he ruled, or he told other people to do that way." So they classify him as a zaken mamet in his own city. That the Beit Din there could do. The Beit Din in his own town could classify him as a zaken mamet. But ben tofsim oto ma'alim oto misham Yerushalayim. Then they grab him and they bring him to Yerushalayim. They don't kill him in the Beit Din in his city. And not when it's outside Yerushalayim, the Beit Din Hagadol, right? If it's not, even if it's in Yavne, we can't kill him there. The Beit Din Hagadol Yerushalayim. It has to be in the Beit Din Hagadol Yerushalayim. And we watch him until the holiday. and we hang him on the holiday. Shenema v'chol Yisrael yishme'u v'yira'u miklal shetzarich hachraza. That since it says v'chol Yisrael yishme'u v'yira'u, it means that everybody has to know about it. It has to be proclaimed. Therefore, it's done on the holiday. So the halacha brought down the Rambam is exactly like Rabbi Akiva. Okay, now let's go into the Gemara. The Gemara is going to explain the mahloket. Why is Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Huda arguing? Tanu banan. אין מבטאים אותו לא בבית דין שבעירו ולא בבית דין שבאבנה, אלא מעלים אותו לבית דין גדול שבירושלים, ומשמרים אותו עד הרגל, ומתים אותו ברגל. שניהם בכל העם ישמעו בעירו, דברי רבי עקיבא. So exactly like the Mishnah had it, Rabbi Akiva's statement of taking him to the Yerushalayim and killing him there and waiting for the Yom Tov to do it. Amalon Rabbi Huda. Rabbi Huda said to Rabbi Akiva, where are you getting this? That everyone has to be there, and that's why you want to come to Yerushalayim on a Yom Tov, so everyone can see it and see it happening. Does it say they're going to see it and be fearful of it? Doesn't say that. It says they will listen and they will be fearful. Listen and fearful. And you do that by writing letters. Why should we postpone his judgment? Kill him right away. And send letters everywhere. And let them know that this guy was killed via the letters of his Avera. So you can fulfill Yishme'u. They heard about it, and then they were fearful. Why does Rabbi Akiva not see that in the pasuk? So it's possible. There's the Sefer Melo Haroim. He writes, "V'tamos Rabbi Akiva hu shemelashon hakatuv mishma shekol ha'am tzrichim lishmoa yachdav et mitato, v'zeh en yachol l'tkayem rak im yitzeu beregel kashekol Yisrael v'tkabetzim l'Yerushalayim." So he says, this is more he says, the pasuk itself, v'chol ha'am yishmeu ve'yirau. V'chol ha'am seems to imply everybody hears it at the same time. And the only way to hear it at the same time, everybody is there at the same time. And then they can all hear it at the same time. And therefore Rabbi Akiva says everyone has to be there and it has to be on the Yom Tov. Whereas Rabbi Huda is saying, no, everyone has to hear about it. They have to hear about it when they hear about it. And sending letters is sufficient. Again, the halacha is like Rabbi Akiva. Okay, one last sugya in this Mishnah, then move on to another Mishnah. Tan Rabbanan. There are 4 people who are killed by Bedin, and they require proclamation of their Avera and why they were killed. And who are these 4 individuals? Hamesit, the instigator, Uben Sorer Umorem, and the Sorer Umorem. Okay, this is the wayward son, right? Mezaken Mamre. There's a camera they're talking about here. And false witnesses. For all of them, you have to make an announcement. It says either Bechol Ha'am or it says Bechol Yisrael. Okay? Regarding the incident, the Torah writes Bechol Yisrael. Okay? Take a look at Torah Shalom. Torah Shalom on the right margin of the Hebrew page. Aleph. That's the case of Zakim Amwe. Okay, and the next one. So that's the case of the Mesit and the Ben Sorer Umore. And it says B'chol Yisrael. Okay? B'chol Yisrael. V'nisharim yishme'u. The next pasuk, that's the case by the Edom Zomimim. So in all of them, it says Yishmeu v'yirau. Okay, so by the Zakim Amrei, it says B'chol Ha'am. By the Mesit and the Soreh Moreh, it says B'chol Yisrael. And by the Edom Zomimim, it says Hanisharim. The Gemara picks up on this. B'chol Yisrael. It says B'chol Am B'chol Yisrael. The Eidim Zoyim K'tiv Nisharim. Why is it saying Nisharim by the Eidim Zomimim, the leftovers, the remainders? The law Kuli Ama Hazula Saduta. Why doesn't it say B'chol Yisrael? You should read it out by Eidim Zomimim, false witnesses. Why does it say those who are left over? So the Gemara says because not everyone is qualified to give testimony. Someone who gambles, lends money on interest, sells produce of Shemitah, all these cases, they can't be witnesses. Therefore, it's only to those who remain among the ranks of qualified witnesses. They should see the Eidim Zomim get killed, and they should take to heart not to become Eidim Zomimim. If you take a look at note 15 in the article, you have the article by 8982. The article brings down the Ran. Okay, Ran. It's Rishon and Ran. Benonisim has an issue with this explanation, and the Benonisim basically says, "1 second, you're telling me it says Nisharim because not everyone can be Eidim Zomim, and not everyone can be Eidim. So only those who can become Eidim, that's the ones that we're talking about. That they should know, they should be scared not to say false testimony. But hold on, not everyone could be a Zakin Mamre. Only somebody who could be on the Beit Nagadol, he could be a Zakin Mamre. So why did you say B'chol Ha'am? And furthermore, not everyone could become Ben Sarah Mare. So why did you say B'chol Yisrael? Why did you say everyone should pay attention? Okay, those who are within that age of becoming Sarah, they should be taking this warning. So the Ran answers that perhaps there's a deeper warning, deeper meaning in the warnings. When it comes to Zakem Mamre, it's really someone who flaunts halacha. Halacha says one thing, he goes the other way. So even though not everybody can be Zakem Mamre, but there are many people who don't listen to halacha. So they see the Zakem Mamre, they see this elder sage getting killed for this, people will take it to heart and they will change their behavior. Same thing with Ben Soda and Moreh. It's really for both the kids who should learn not to go against, and the parents to learn how to be mechanech, how to educate their children. Similar, doesn't want to say that the mesit also, the instigator, right? Not everybody's instigator, but here we see how careful you have to be not to do that, and so people will stay away. Now, that's a real case where it's not a broad application. It's only for witnesses, and therefore it says nisharim. Okay, one more issue to deal with before we move on. Now, by Zakem where we saw the halacha was that what you have to bring him to Yerushalayim and kill him there. That's how you make the announcement. What about these other three cases? The instigator, the Ben Sarimar, and the Eidim Zarmim. Do you have to also bring him to Yerushalayim, or can you kill him anywhere and then send letters? Okay. So it's actually a machlokas. There's a Tosefta that shows that Rabbi Akiva and Yehuda are arguing in all four cases. That Rabbi Akiva says you have to bring it up to Yerushalayim, and Rabbi Yehuda says you don't. In all four cases, the machlokas is the same. That's a Tosefta. But the Rambam doesn't say it this way. The Rambam brings down the Zakem Mamrei. Yes, you have to bring to Yerushalayim, but in the other cases is the other cases it's okay enough if you just send out letters. Okay, so so that's a machloket of the Tosefta and the Rambam of how you learning this Gemara. Okay, so what does the Rambam say? Allah said with these other cases. So let's read the lashon here. How do you make this announcement by the Sarah and Mara? You just write a letter, says the Rambam. Okay. All right. Yeah, Rambam, right. And you write a letter. Again, the Rambam. So you see, with the Rambam, only the Zakim Mamre you can bring up to Yerushalayim. The rest of them you can send letters like Rabbi Yehuda holds. So interesting. According to the Rambam, they're only arguing by the Zakim Mamre. right? Perhaps because there it says v'chol ha'am yishbu v'yirau, where the other psukim it says v'chol Yisrael, right? So, all right, so it's maybe a different way of understanding why the Rambam does that. Okay, fine, but that's the halacha the Rambam brings down. All right. Now we move on to another Mishnah, Nevi HaSheker. So our first Mishnah brought down all the cases of those who get chenik, strangulations, and one of them was the Nevi HaSheker, the false prophet. So we're going to have some Agadata Gemara coming up, but let's take a look. Who is a false prophet? Someone who says something they didn't hear. Someone comes and says, God told me. Okay? In fact, the Minchat Chinuch tells us a person shouldn't even make a joke and say, God told me something, right? Because it's a law. It's a prohibition to say something in the name of God that God didn't say. Okay? So, but if he's not a prophet, everyone knows he's not a prophet, then he says that he's not going to be Hayab Mitam, but still it's a problem. Okay? But someone who claims to be a prophet of God, oh, this is a problem, he's going to get Henik. Or who else could be a false prophet? Someone who said something that wasn't told to him, meaning Hashem gave prophecy to another Navi, and he hijacks the prophecy and says it from himself. This is also called a Navi Sheker. Oma Shalom. Okay. Mitato bide Adam. So Betin gives him Henik and puts him to death. Someone who subdues his prophecy, we're going to see like Yonah, right? Yonah Navi didn't want to say the prophecy in Nineveh, right? So someone who subdues his prophecy. And one who disregards the words of a prophet. The prophet says, do something, and he doesn't do it. We'll give a case soon. But if a Navi gives a nevuah, a prophecy, and then he himself goes against his own nevuah, right? Mitato b'dei shamayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take care of them. He will punish them and kill them. Shne'emar anochi edrosh me'imo. Okay? Pasuk in Devarim 18:19. We'll come back to that pasuk in a moment. Someone gets up and says, in the name of Buddha, okay, or some other Avodah Zarah. And says, this is what the Avodah Zarah says. Even if he says the halacha as it's supposed to be. I mean, he's saying, for example, you have to keep Shabbat. But he says it in the name of the Avodah Zarah, he's chayav mita of Henik. Okay? Habal Eshet Esh, someone who has relations with an Eshet Ish, fully married. Once she goes into the reshut of her husband, even though she hasn't yet been with her husband. But once she goes into the reshut of her husband, she's considered completely married, and the strangulation is the punishment, and not considered naraha ma'arusam, that you get skilab, right? Because she went into the reshut of her husband, she's not considered completely married, and the punishment will be henik. What's the hidush here? Hidush, she's not yet with her husband yet, so she hasn't yet consummated the marriage. However, the pasuk says she gets skila when she's bebet avia, when she's in her father's house. Here, she is no longer in her father's house. As such, she's already been handed over to the agents of the husband who came to pick her up to bring her to the man, and she's considered in her husband's territory already, and therefore it's a full-fledged marriage. If someone would have had relations with her, there would be the punishment of headache. Okay, Mizamame Bat Kohen, the last case of the Mishnah, someone who has, if the Adim come and say that a Bat Kohen had extramarital relations over Allah, or if the person she was with, okay, with the Bat Kohen. Bat Kohen. Uvo Allah. Usually you give the Bat Kohen, usually you give the Adim Zoyman the punishment they try to give to that person. Which in this case, the Bat Kohen would get Tzrefa. However, the man would not get Tzrefa. He would get the Ba'ala, the person that was with her, he would get Henik, based on the Pasuk that says she gets Tzrefa, but not he. And the Pasuk also says, by Zomimim, they get what they try to do to him and not to her. So therefore, he gets Henik, they will also get Henik. Those are the cases of strangulation. Tanu Rabanan. Okay, now we're going to go back to the Navi Sheker. There are three death sentences by the human court, by Bedin, for Navi Sheker. and there were three punishments by heaven that for Nevi'im. Hamitnabe mashalo shama, someone who said something that he didn't hear, making up in the name of God. Mashlo nemaralo, or he said something that was said to another Navi, but he's saying it from himself. Hamitnabe b'shem kochavim, or someone who says it in the name of Avodah Zarah, even if it's true. Mitatam b'dei adam, right? Their death is by the betin, and they get henik. Hakovesh et nevuato, someone who suppresses his nevuah. Someone who doesn't listen to the Navi goes against what he says. Or a Navi goes against his own words. They get the punishment from Shamayim. But not Namili. How do we know this is true? There is a pasuk. The full pasuk reads, if you take a look in note 27, לדבר, ואשר ידבר בשם אלוהים אחרים, ומת הנביא ההוס. The Gemara breaks it up now. הנביא אשר יעשה לדבר דבר בשמי, but the prophet who will willfully speak a word in my name, what does that mean? זה המתנמה, מה שלא שמע. This is somebody who makes up things that he says in Hashem's name that Hashem never said to him. ואשר לא ציוויתי, which I did not command him to say, חברות ציוויתי, but I did command his friend to say. So זה המתנבא, מה שלא נאמר לו. This is someone who's saying prophecy that I said to his friend, but not to him. And saying in the name of false gods, right? This is the one who says it in the name of Avodah Zarah. And the pasuk says, "Umet hanavi hahu," and this navi should be put to death. And any mitah it says in the Torah stam, regular, it means henek. So that's how we know that the three cases of the Navi Sheker gets strangulation. What about the next? Hakovesh et nevuato. One who suppresses his prophecy. And one who goes against the word of the Navi. The Navi Shavar devrei atmo. And Navi who goes against his own words. Mitatam b'dei shamayim. The mitah is in the hand of heaven. Dichtiv, because the pasuk says. Okay, this pasuk we already saw. This is in Torah Shalom Hey. So now the Gemara is going to learn the word yishma three different ways. Right? Did not listen. Right? They listen to the Navi. So if someone doesn't listen to the Navi, it says edrosh me'imo. I'm going to take someone's going to punish him. But the word yishma can also be read without the nikulot. You can mix it up. And you karebe lo yashmi'a, someone who does not proclaim. Navi had a prophecy and he suppresses it. Lo yashmi'a also gets edrosh me'imo. Hashem will seek out punishment from him. But the word yishma and yashmi'a can also be read ukrebe lo yishama el divarai. He doesn't listen to his own words, right? Anochi edrosh me'imo. I will demand it from him. Punishment b'dei shamayim. Okay. Now the Gemara is going to go to give examples of these cases, of these 6 cases of Navi, Sheker, or suppressing, or the like. So let's start off. So you're going to have to know a little bit of Tanakh. You're going to have to know a little bit of Nevi'im. So we're going to fill in the stories as much as we need to understand the Gemara. Hamitnabe ma shelo shama. Someone said something that he didn't hear. Okay, and we're going to give an example, interesting example. Someone who did hear something but knew it was false and said it anyway, but he's still considered as saying something that he didn't hear. Kigun Tzidkiah ben Kina'ana, like Tzidkiah ben Kina'ana. Who is Tzidkiah ben Kina'ana? He is one of the fake Nevi'im of Ahab. Okay, maybe perhaps the Nevi Habal. And of the King Ahab. King Ahab is the king of northern Israel, not Judah, not the kingdom of Judah, but the kingdom of Malchei Yisrael, kingdom of Israel, right? And he is going out to fight with Aram, okay, the nation of Aram. And he wants to know if he's going to be successful. So he calls his Nevi'im, okay? And all the Nevi'im say, yeah, you're going to be good, you're going to be good, you're going to be good. Okay? Now Achav is friends with the king of Judah, as Yehoshaphat, and Yehoshaphat doesn't believe these Nevi'ah Baal. We're going to see why he doesn't believe them shortly. And he asks for another Navi to come. And Achav doesn't like this other Navi of Hashem, and he says he always gives me bad information, bad tidings, bad news. He gives me. I don't like the guy. So let's now take a little look at the story and see what happened. So the Gemara says, first of all, Tzidkiah ben Canaan made these iron horns, and he showed Achav, say, this is a proof that you're going to win. What do you want from Tzidkiah? What else could he have done? Because you know why he gave this false report that wasn't really true? It wasn't his fault. Ruach Navot at ite. Navot misled them. What's the story with Navot? Who's Navot? Navot was a guy who owned a vineyard next to the estate of Ahab. Ahab wanted it. And, his wife made a whole ruse. And they ended up killing Navot. And they took all his property. Now, Navot in Shemayim. The Shema is in Shemayim. Right? And remember, this is a time that Hashem wants Ahab to fall. So, Vayom Hashem, mi yifatet Ahab v'ya'al v'yipol b'ramot Gilad. Who's going to cause it that Ahab will go to the camp of Ramot Gilad and he's going to fall over there? How are we going to get this done? V'yetzeh haruach, and the spirit came forth. V'yamod l'fnei Hashem, v'yomer ani afetenu. A spirit came forth and said, I'm going to make it happen that he will go. Okay? V'yomer tifateh v'gam tuchal, tzeh v'aseh chen. And Hashem said to the spirit, go and do it and you'll be successful. And go out. Tzeh. Okay, so Navot had the permission to go bring a false prophecy to the people, including Tzidkiah ben Kenania. And why should Tzidkiah ben Kenania be held responsible for prophesying false message if that's what the Ruach of Navot made him do? Okay, so first of all, Rabbi Yehuda gives a very important lesson. Rabbi Yehuda, ma tzeh. Why does the pasuk say go out? Tzeh mimechitzati. Go out from my mechitza. They explained that Yaakov Avinu was on the kisei hakavod, on the throne of Hashem. Yaakov is ish emet, and Hashem is the stamp is emet, right? It fell down from Shemaim emet, and it can't have a liar there. Even though Hashem sanctioned the mission to go and bring this false prophecy to get Ahab to fall, yet Hashem had to tell him, "Say you can no longer be here because fulfilling this mission makes you a liar." My ruach, who is this ruach? Amar Yohanan, rucho shel Navot HaYisraeli. Okay, this is Navot HaYisraeli, and he was the ruach that went out to do this. So how could we fault Tzidkiah ben Kenana? So oh, he should have known the story from Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Yitzchak said, when Hashem sends out a message, he sends the same message to multiple Nevi'im. But the Nevi'im, they do not say over the Nevuah the same way. Each one says it its own way. Ovadia Omar, in Ovadia speaking about Edom, he says, Zedon libecha hishiecha. Yirmi Omar, but Yirmi had said, Tiflat techa hishi otach zedon libecha. So they say the same thought, but they said it in different ways. That's how you know they're Nevi Emet, because everyone's using their own words. But these 400 prophets who Achav asked about his success in the battle, they all said it the same way. Shema lo kum ka'amrei. So Tzidkiah ben Kenana should have understood that everyone's saying false prophecy because everyone's saying it the exact same way, and he's saying the same thing. He's also the act the same way. So the Gemara says, perhaps he didn't know of Rabbi Yitzchak's teaching it. They say it the same way. They're false prophets. So the Gemara says, Yehoshaphat Yehoshaphat was there. And Yehoshaphat said, Yehoshaphat hein po navi la Hashem od. Is it not a real prophet here? Amrullah ika kohane. Achav said to him, these 400 not enough. This is the way I got a tradition from my father, said Yehoshaphat. סגנון אחד עולה לכמה נביאים, ואין שני נביאים מתנבאים בסגנון אחד. So, said Yehoshaphat, I don't believe it, because they're all saying the exact same words, and it can't be that way, because I have a tradition like that. And it was there, and he heard that. And then after he heard that, he still went ahead and told his false prophecy, and even made these iron horns to show, oh, this is proof that you are going to win. And still, um, still, he went ahead and said it. Therefore, he's chayav mitah for saying something that he knew was not true. Okay, fine. Just want to bring the place where. One second. Right. ביקש יהושע, אני חושב גם ליושב, והם שאלו מיכה בן ימל שהוא נביא אמת, והוא מדבר שחרין נורא, שאל אותו שמיים. Okay, fine. All right. Right. So Achav didn't want the true prophet of Hashem, who was Michael ben Yimleh, to come because he says this guy always gives me bad reports, bad prophecies, and I don't want to see this guy. All right, fine. Now in another case, someone who said nevuah that was said to someone else and not to him. We're going to give a case that's even further than that. Okay, let's take a look. Kegon Hananiah ben Azur. This is during the time of Yirmiyah Hanavi. There is another Navi who was first a Navi, then later not a Navi. It became a false Navi. His name is Hananiah ben Azur. One time, the Yirmiyah was in the upper Shuk marketplace, and he said in Nebuah, I'm going to destroy the strength of Elam, okay? Elam, which was the Persians. So Hananiah was standing there and heard this, and he made a kavachomer. He said, what? Elam is only coming to help Bavel, who's in charge. He's going to destroy Elam. So then, so then the Babylonians, for sure, Hashem is going to destroy. He's going to destroy their help. He's going to destroy them too. So and he got up and said his own nivuah, even though he didn't hear it, right? But based on the Kavachomer, he said, if this was told to Yirmiyah, then definitely the Babylonians also. Hashem, Shavati et all Melech Bavel. And then he added on, even to make it even more interesting, he got up and he said that's going to happen in 2 years. Okay, he added on his own part there. I'm a little papala baye halachav. They don't nami lo nema. Wait, this was never even told to Yirmiyah either. All Yirmiyah got a prophecy was Elam. Amalei, he went there to the kavachomer since he made a kavachomer, commanded mal ledame. He was ready to kavachomer. Hashem's going to get rid of Elam. Hashem's going to get rid of Bavel. What here the lo nema lo. And so it was like as if it was said to Yirmiyah through the kavachomer, and the only problem was that it wasn't said to him. Therefore, he was hayav mitah. Again, he also added on his own part about the 2 years, which was not part of any statement. He just made that up on his own. Okay. Now, hamitnabeh b'shem avad lekochavim. Someone gives nu'ah in the name of avodah zarah. Kegon nevi'ei habal, like the nevi'ei habal. Okay, those are avodah zarah, and they were giving nevuah via avodah zarah. Hakovesh nevuato. Someone who suppresses the nevuah. Kegon Yonah ben Amitai. Like Yonah, like Sefer Yonah. Go look at Sefer Yonah. We know what happened there. Hamvater al divrei Navi. Someone disregards the nevuah of Navi. Kigon chavre demicha dichtiv. Okay, so a little background over here. This goes back to that case of Ahab. Okay, so this is the story that we have to know for this spot. Okay. There was a king named Ben Hadad. He is the king of Aram. And Michayo, the Navi, comes to Achav and tells Achav to go and fight Aram and you'll be successful. Now, Achav went out twice in war against Aram. and he's successful both times. And after the second war, Ben Hadad, the king, fell into Achav's hands, but Achav didn't kill him. Achav did the mistake and sent him home in peace and made a treaty with him. After that, Michael went over to his friend and he said to his friend, Hakenina, hit me. And his friend disregarded him. He said it as a nevuah. He said his friend, as a nevuah, you have to hit me. And his friend didn't do it. And this man went outside, his friend, and a lion came and killed him. Then Michael went to another person and said to him, commanding via prophecy to hit me. And he hit him. Then Michael went to Achav. And he told Achav, since you sent Melech Hadad away in Shalom, you made peace with him, even though you were commanded to kill him, you're going to die in war. Okay? You're going to die in the next war. Just wait. Just like that guy, I told him to hit me, and he didn't hit me. He died by a lion. Same thing, you didn't hit him. You're gonna end up dying. So now, when Achav wants to go up to fight Aram again, he asked these 400 Nevi'ei Baal, right? And when Yehoshaphat was asking for a Nevi Hashem, so Achav told him, "Oh, Ish Echad Yishol et Hashem Me'oto, v'ani Senatav." I don't like this guy. He always saying bad to me. Michael ben Yimleh. Because already Michael gave him the nevuah that after he let Ben Hadad go, that he was going to die in the next war. So, so now this is the case of Michael. Because Michael told his friend, in the name of God, hit me, and he didn't do it. He didn't listen, and the lion came and ate him, as the pasuk continues. Okay, but Navi Shaval Devrei Atzmo, where is the case of a Navi who goes against his own nevuah? Kigon Idon Navi Dichtiv. Yichen Tzivi Tziva Oti. Okay, who is Idom? Idom was the prophet during the time of Yeram ben Nevat. Idom gets a prophecy to go to Yeram ben Nevat, tell him to stop what he's doing. Yeram ben Nevat was the one who split the kingdom, right, north and south. He sets up the egos. He is serving the Avodah Zarah in wherever he is. Edo comes and tells him, "Oh, you can't do what you're doing." He says, "Grab Edo." While he's saying grab, his hands get stuck. He prays. Edo prays for his hand to get back. He promises to be better. He gives his hand back. Your oven says, "Okay, come eat with me." And Edo says, in the name of Hashem, Hashem said, "I can't stop to eat with anyone here. I can't go to you." Then and then as he's walking out, comes another Navi. He says, "I'm a Navi like you." And Hashem said, "You should come into my house and eat bread and water." He lied to him, but that's what he said. And Edo listened. And it says that after he finished with his house, Yoshev Ito, and as soon as he went out to the guy's house, a lion came and slew Edo. Right? So this is a person, a Navi, who went against his own Nevuah. A little more. Tana Kamed Rav Chizda. Hakovesh et Nevuato Loke. Someone who goes against his Nevuah gets Makot. Really? Someone goes against his Nevuah gets Makot. Why are we giving him Makot? So there could be two reasons here. First of all, it could be an example like a case, someone who refuses to put on tefillin, someone who refuses to do sukkot. The Beit Din has a right to give him makot in order to force him, but it's not the makot of 40. It's not the makot of 40. Or this is going according to the pshat that you can give makot even for someone who's not doing something physically, right? Even if he's just holding back. Because usually we say we don't do it until he does something, right? So maybe this is the opinion that you can give even if he didn't do anything. Okay. 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 Just because he did something, we're gonna give him a call. Who knows about it? They can warn him and tell him, "Hey, don't do this. You're gonna get my call." The fellow prophets know that if someone's suppressing a prophecy, how do they know? Even though a certain Navi gets the prophecy, his chaverim know that the prophecy came out. And somehow they're all attuned to the fact that the prophecy exists. But perhaps the heavenly court will rescind the prophecy. We'll take it back if they don't know. So if it happened that the heavenly court rescinded the decree, so they will all know also. But is it really true that everybody knows the prophecy was rescinded? But by Yonah, the prophecy went back, and Yonah didn't even know. So the Gemara says, no. By Yonah, it didn't go back. Yonah mikara. It said nehepachet that it's going to be overturned. You didn't know if it means overturned like Sodom and Amorah and get completely destroyed, or overturned means they would switch from being bad to being good. Not that it rescinded, rather it stayed, but the nevuah was fulfilled in a different way. Just for the information, a good nevuah, a good prophecy never gets rescinded. It must always happen. A bad nevuah could get rescinded if tshuva or whatever it is takes place. Okay? Someone who disregards the word navi, how is he to know that this guy is a real navi? That if he doesn't listen, he's going to get punished. It's where he gives him a sign. Okay, something's going to happen in the future, and it happens. So then we know he is a true prophet, right? He needs credentials. Okay, now a prophet can never say go against the Torah permanently, but he could say to suspend al halacha for a time being. Okay, Gemara says this case of Micha telling the guy hit me and the guy didn't hit him. He didn't give him any sign. The Yanash and he got punished. Everybody knew Michael was a true prophet. You don't need a sign. You know he's a true prophet. You don't need a sign. If you don't say this, Abraham Ba'amoriya. How do Yitzchak listen to Abraham and say, okay, allow yourself to be killed? Yitzchak said, what do you mean? Torah says no. I don't have to listen to you. Right? But since Yitzchak knew Abraham was a true Navi, he knew for suspension of a mitzvah, sometimes it's allowed. And therefore he was allowed to listen to him. He didn't need an ot. He didn't need a sign. Eliyahu bar Carmel, by Eliyahu and hired Carmel in the showdown. He shechted animals outside for a carbon outside the Beit HaMikdash, which already was usher at that time, right? Was it Ela Hechad de Muchsakshani? Since Eliyahu Navi was known to be a true Navi, he doesn't need to bring an oath at that time for them to listen. They can listen because everyone knows that he is a true Navi. Okay, next week we'll go a little bit into the Kedat Yitzchak, and then we move on to more Sugyot. Perhaps even if we're lucky, we'll see how it works out. Maybe next week we'll finish up the 10th parak. Okay. Any questions?